This chapter is called The Kingdom Come. Idiom. To a state of complete destruction. Oh, to Kingdom Come. Cool. This is back to the present. The American and Russian duo went back to their next class since the bell rung already. I have to miss a whole class now, Russia grumbled in frustration. Isn't it supposed to be a good thing to skip class? The prince raised an eyebrow with a smirk. Russia glared over at America. His wounds and cuts were already healed. You mentioned Japan's mom giving you a bad scar, yet your skin is unblemished. Well, even though it's not visible, the muscle memory of the scars are there. I can make them visible whenever I want. Want to see? Before Russia could even answer, America already took it as a yes. A large scar appeared stretching from the side of his cheek down the side of his neck, and it seemed to stretch out for more under his uniform. Their stare is going to burn a hole through me, the American chuckled. As the scar started disappearing again, Russia scoffed as if it was to say, no, I was not. I kind of hate the words chuckled and giggled for some reason, but they leave in a trailer. No! Okay, but sometimes it calls for it. When you're writing something, sometimes those words are called for and you gotta use them. But I really don't like those words. I don't know why, I just don't like the sound of them. America smiled. I want to have a discussion with everyone tonight in our room. The two of them entered their next classroom. None of the students paid much attention to them. They were too busy discussing the murder that had just happened. A student spoke to another, then another and another. The rumors came flooding like a tidal wave, and luckily none of them mentioned America. It was one of the perks of working for the royal military and being a prince. And two. Did you know there's also a pile of dead birds outside in the schoolyard? Do you think it's a message or something? A student whispered to another. Yeah, they just leave the birds there. They're just still there. When America and Russia heard this, America gave a sideways glance at Russia and smirked. Russia averted his gaze, remembering what happened. He could almost feel his face heating up again out of embarrassment. America turned to him, clearly up to something. Oh, what's this? Are you still embarrassed about that? Your face is so red. I bet you'll pull out your wings and hide them again any minute now. The prince placed a hand behind his back and leaned in. He just likes... the fucking with is so funny. I don't know, say that, but a lot, but like... That's why I like his character. He's so cocky and loves teasing, like, all the fucking time.
No, so is he rolling an asshole? Or?
Nah, he just likes acting like that. You know, the Russian's veins bulged in frustration as he suppressed the urge to slap the prince right there to shut him up. The guard turned around and ignored him instead. Come on, don't ignore me. Shut up, don't talk to me. I'll go to your stupid meeting tonight, but just leave me alone for now. His gaze held warning. America chuckled before shutting up because... Yeah, coincidentally, the teacher also entered the room. Yeah, I couldn't remember what that word was for a second. Sometimes my brain goes blank for some words that I know, and then I feel stupid.
Why do you feel stupid?
Because it's like, oh, I know this word. Why didn't I fucking know it when I looked at it? The teacher tried to comfort the class by saying that they're already working on trying to find the traitor, but America knew they wouldn't suspect him. As long as they didn't have to have some kind of lie detector ability, then they're good to go. Oh boy, referencing to the future. That night, America, Russia, South, and North sat in their rooms. Can you soundproof the room? I can, but my limit is 1 hour. South lifted 3 fingers, and a few seconds later, he put his hands down. Done. I'd like to discuss the tournament first. Let's join. We can get extra scores if we win. As long as we don't encounter anything unexpected, then I'm pretty sure we can win. America started off the discussion with quite an arrogant statement. Don't forget we need 5 members. There's only 4 of us. Who would want to be our last member? North replied immediately. It's true that the other students are unlikely to team up with them as long as there are dragons in their team. The other people, it's far too risky to team up with dragons. Their fear of being backstabbed or taken advantage of prevents them from doing so. America placed a hand on his chin to think. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. For now, just focus on training. South and North sided and nodded. As much as they didn't trust America, they knew he'd do something about it, and none of them could stop him. Now, I'd like to talk about business. Do you guys know the general info about all the kingdoms? No, me and North lived in Asia, and are very sheltered. America took a deep breath because the explanation was going to be a little complicated. Russia also listened, and he knew a few things here and there, but he didn't know the full general picture. There are a total of 6 kingdoms: Asia, Europe, Africa, Oceania, Britannia, and Central. The system is that all the kingdoms are ruled by the Central Kingdom, so just to say that the Central King is the one that holds all the power. America paused to gather his thoughts and scan his memories. Britannia is known to be the weakest one due to its king and queen having weak abilities. Despite that, it's one of the best kingdoms, and most people take refuge in Britannia if they happen to escape their home kingdom. But it's also similar to a doormat of the Central Kingdom. They can't defeat against him, and so they have to comply with everything he requests of them. When America spoke of Britannia, his voice held a slight sense of longing and softness. Everyone noticed this, but they didn't point it out. They just kept the info in the back of their heads. Asia, well, I'm sure South and North know about this already, but I'll go over it as well. America leaned against his bed frame to rest his back. Asia is the most sheltered kingdom out of all. Info hardly gets in, and info hardly gets out. The ruler of the kingdom is quite childish. There are annual games that are held in a tower-like building where the residents of the kingdom have to go against each other. Only 5 people out of the hundreds will end up alive in the end. The contents of the game, even I do not know, but I can't imagine if it to be as fun as it sounds. As America explained, South felt a shiver down his spine. He had extremely bad memories about this. Asia is known to have the most extreme expectations towards its residents, and if you are even a little imperfect, they'll send you to the tower. Damn. Most people know the tower is a death trap, inevitable death for anyone who tries. Winning is very unlikely. North placed a hand on South's back and drew circles around it to calm him down a little. Europe is known as the land of sickness and plague. Due to a wide sickness across the land, it affects most of its residents, particularly the lower class ones. I like how they use actual history for their plots and shit. Europe has a very prominent class ranking system that favors nobility compared to the low classes, which is true to history. Inside info suggests that the sickness is caused by a substance the residents use in their daily lives called lead. The one used I know is for making pipes. It's everywhere in the sewage system.
So they already have sewage systems?
Yes.
Toilets?
Well, the Roman Empire created sewage systems, but after it fell, we lost a lot of the really good technology they made, like concrete sewage systems. If they didn't fall, we'd probably be a lot more advanced than we actually are today.
They were brilliant people. It's too bad they got so cocky.
Yeah. Russia had heard of this one before. He'd used to live in the border of Asia and Europe, so he knew well not to accidentally stumble into Europe territory. Oceania. Oceania. That's what we're getting. Okay, good. Oceania. Well, the ruler is very ignorant and has caused more harm than good by being absent from their job. Africa, from what I heard, has a lot of civil wars due to human trafficking, as well as other aspects like the lack of resources.
It's true.
They go to Africa in one chapter. I don't know much about this kingdom other than that. America took a shaky breath. Lastly is the Central Kingdom. The ruler is just a tyrant, and I want nothing more than to rip his head off. He uses his power to harm and control. You could call him a puppeteer that's pulling all the strings. All that concludes my long summary. America felt like the bed frame was too hard and moved to lean his back against the side of Russia's arm. How? Because he likes fucking. How do you know all of this? Russia tilted his head in curiosity. He enjoyed the little information deep dive, so he decided to ignore the American leaning against him. I like all the information they give, letting you know like the backgrounds of the different kingdoms and the backgrounds of the characters. It's just very, very detailed. Central, you're asking who the king is? Because I don't.
No,
They don't say.
Like, what country does it represent?
I don't know. You'd think it'd be the Soviet Union the way it sounds and how big it is and how it runs everything, but yeah, no, it's not. The prince shrugged. I'm usually at the rulers' conferences where they discuss stuff, and as like a bodyguard of some sort. South and North both took mental notes on all of this. This was very useful information since school doesn't usually teach students about shortcomings of every kingdom. It's usually how it is. Anyways, I haven't decided which kingdom to go against first after we get out of here, but that's a long time, so we have plenty of time to plan. It's almost gonna be winter soon, huh? After winter, it's the start of the tournament. Russia dragons are naturally weak to cold, so winter isn't a very favorable environment for dragons. At the mention of winter, America flinched. It wasn't noticeable at all, but considering the prince was leaning against Russia, he felt it. But before Russia could dwell on it even more, America sat up and sprung up from his seat. He stretched his arms to the young. I'm gonna get a snack before the dining hall closes. With that, he left the room. Russia sat on his bed and leaned against the wall behind the bed with both his arms placed on his head. Are you not worried he's manipulating or using you? South broke the silence and questioned Russia. I don't have a choice, even if he is, so I don't have a choice, even if he is, do I? The Russian dragon's voice was husky and nonchalant. Nonchalant. I don't like that word. Would you stay by his side if you had a choice? This time it was North that asked the question. Russia took a second to think, then scoffed. I'd leave him immediately if I did have a choice. The guard didn't have anything to add, and South acknowledged that. He waved his hand to lift the soundproof barrier. Little did the Russian know that in the future he'd never want to leave the prince's side, even if he had a choice. Because friendship. Anyway. Yes, this is the end of that chapter.
Yeah, I figured they'll become good friends. The way they joke around. Well, they realize he is a good guy.
Yeah.
Are we still recording?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's sad that he was taken from his parents and he had to hurt his family like that.
He's actually
An
he's protecting them.
But they don't see it that way.
Actually, with Russia's backstory, it actually tells why America chose him, and it is so fucking good. I love his backstory. It is my favorite backstory out of all the backstories so far, and I can't wait till we get to that chapter.
You're being really loud
Sorry.
right now. Why don't you read that loud so you're sure people can hear it?
Okay. Oh, anyway, I'm gonna
When
end.
you read, you're kind of quiet.
Oh, well, I'm gonna end this
You
chapter.
get excited.
Yeah. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for Russia's backstory.